I will call this meeting to order. May I have a roll call, please, Fede?
So I'm not familiar with who are the newly inducted.
Do you have a roll sheet? I know it's me. I'm here, present. Myra Hernandez.
Myra Hernandez present.
Cynthia present.
Diane Gomez present.
Monica Cavazos present. Virginia Lopez present.
Just for the record, Jaime Heredia.
And Araceli Vasquez is present as well. We have a quorum, so we'll start with the approval of the minutes. Do I have a motion to approve the minutes of the previous meeting?
Motion to approve.
Second? Second. Motion and a second. All those in favor say aye. All those
Aye.
opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Citizen communications. Do we have anybody from the citizenry today? Nope. We're good. All right. Anything else that's not on the agenda that maybe you'll want to discuss? This would probably be the best time to do it. Then we move on. Discussion with possible action on the following items. The Esperanza Awards full report. That is on Fede?
Okay. Yeah, the Esperanza report, they actually, we already confirmed the venue.
And the venue is?
The venue is gonna be on October, because they don't have anything available in September.
Okay.
So it's gonna be in October 2nd,
Second,
from 6:30 to 8:30.
6:30 to 8:30
Yeah.
at?
It's gonna be in the new place of Falcon back there at the same place.
Falcon
that-
Bank, but the one down the street?
Down the street.
Okay.
It's the same place. but they
Across
said it
from
was a
San
new
Telmo.
venue.
Yes, across from San Telmo.
Yes.
Across from San Telmo.
So it's the same address as last year, it's just on the their new location.
Yeah. Okay. All right. And then what else?
Okay, on this one, we do have funding for food.
Okay.
I spoke to Graciela, because she was here last Wednesday, and I know she's part of that committee, and she gave some ideas. I already started asking for quotes, and we're estimating 80 people.
Okay.
Okay, so we're going with the same estimation as last year.
Okay.
So for the food, we're asking for quotes for 80 people. And then on the awards, she wants to do the same, the awards, and then the
One
ones
per
for-
district?
Yes, one per district.
Okay. For the benefit of those who weren't here last year, so that they know what we're giving out. Just, we invite the community to participate in a yard beautification project, and then we judge those by submittal, right? They have to apply or submit that they're going to be part of the program. We go and look, we pick a winner, and it's one per district. And they get.
And then they have the display also in their
Right.
house. I don't know for how long they left the last year, but I think it was a couple of weeks.
Yeah. I think there was also second and third place winners, but they didn't get a yard sign. They just got like a pot
pot
with
plants.
gardening supplies and little.
Right. And the recognition, obviously.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we would like to keep it the same, so that way every year is the same. Second and
Okay.
third, they'll get a gift or a present, and then the recognition of it.
Okay.
And that's for second and third place.
Got it.
And then also the recognition for all the volunteers.
Okay.
Nonprofits, entities that participate frequently with KOB. That's another award and certificate that we give out.
Okay. One thing last year there was. There you are. For the record, let the record reflect that Graciela Villarreal has joined us. Okay, so last year we didn't have any real entertainment. There was no music in the background. Can we make sure we have something? And do we have a video of the kind of stuff that we do for those folks who are getting an award but they really don't know what we do? That was one of the other things that there was somebody at our table that said, "What do you?"
I think we
do?"
did have a slideshow, but it was just pictures. Like,
That would work.
But if we had like one specific slide that said like KOB, like our mission statement,
Mhm.
you know, at
Yeah.
least something, or like actual action footage of
Something
what we do.
displayed.
Photo, something to display, and of course our awards that we've gotten over, this last year.
Oh yeah.
The fact that we were number.
Like where all our work goes to.
Yep.
On that, I just need the information on the, who's part of that. I know Graciela is with another group, so that way we can review that and put it all together
Okay.
for that day. And also we can do the presentation, the PowerPoint.
Sure.
viewing
I just
all
have it
those
running in the
pictures.
loop in the background.
Yes, with music. We can get the music. If you have something in mind in particular with the music, let me know. Actually, well, we have public access channel that can help us with the music and also with the sound system and all that stuff.
Okay.
So that will facilitate and at the same time save spending more money because we do have it in-house with public access.
And if you
So-
need, and I have licenses for music and stuff, so.
That's what I'm saying, you
if
want a
you need-
playlist, you have a playlist, that's something
Yeah.
that, you know, because I know it's an award ceremony, so we want something not crazy, something
Sure.
nice and mellow that,
Mhm.
you know, everybody will enjoy as they eating and going through the awards and the ceremony.
Okay, so do we have a keynote speaker? And who is that?
On the speaker.
I think last year we had Richard Raymond, ¿verdad?
Yes, and then I believe, Graciela mentioned that we can invite somebody else, and somebody else mentioned last time that they have somebody in mind. I can't recall who that person was, but she mentioned that she works
was
for
from the
EEB.
Coca-Cola, the lady from the Coca-Cola,
Yeah.
yeah, but she's not here today.
Laura.
Mm-hmm.
We can reach out to her, that she said that they were part also the Keep Texas Beautiful, and she knows a member, I don't know if you recall.
Yes.
So maybe somebody from there, and maybe somebody locally, I don't know.
Well, obviously, we need to have Tony present, so we need to send him an
Okay.
invitation since he's still the president of KTB. And then maybe this year, the congressman, the senator, if we had,
We had Representative Raymond.
last year, right? So maybe this year we had the senator? We've never really invited her to anything before,
It's up to you guys.
or the congressman.
I mean, you're part of the committee, and this is only part of
No,
the.
I mean, it's up to you, like, I mean, I
Right.
already
And I'm saying
invited
for the
Representative, but
ceremony.
we don't wanna make it repetitive, so we wanna give the opportunity to
Mhm.
others as well, so.
Or the county judge. I mean, the county never gets involved with this. We need to kind of start roping them in too.
Let's just not, yeah, let's just.
Is there somebody
We're just gonna have to be
who
careful not
is
to
like
make it.
of that level that actually participates in the events? That can like speak on their experience and why it's important for others to get
The two
involved?
council members from 7 and 8, Councilmember Bettis and Councilmember Ciarroa, have been really active in cleanups and stuff. They attend. The others, I mean, Melissa Ciarroa attends as well, but she's not been as vocal or as active as Alyssa has been because of Zacate Creek and the river and some of the things that she's done for her district. Vanessa as well has been, Councilmember Bettis has done that as well. Dr. King because of the bike trails in North Central.
But
these are,
Councilmember from District 8, she doesn't like to be a speaker.
and it is an election year. We'll be right at the beginning of the cycle, so probably not a good move to have
Yeah.
either one of them there.
I know, just because we don't want that.
We don't want
Again, we're just not, that's not who we are.
No, and she, as a speaker, she.
Do we
usually-
have a sponsor who gives us money or gives us a lot of time, maybe,
Coca-Cola.
besides like Coca-Cola, right? Maybe,
We have Coca-Cola, we have Walmart, I know that, you know, HEB, places.
maybe
that-
we have somebody from them come be our keynote speaker.
We can invite, Mr.
You all decide. And again, it does not have to be a member
We
of
don't
the,
wanna make it too political.
Right,
have to
we
just
don't need to
leave
make
Not
it an elect-
this year, neither
yeah.
next year.
You
So
don't need
it
to
has
have it
be
as an
neutral.
elected official. It could be anybody from the community but that has the same like mind as us.
Well, Mr. Tony Arce can be one for sure, based on the experience of
Sure. KTB.
Texas Beautiful. That he can be one, and then the second one, he can be one of our biggest sponsors. Federico, which one was the biggest sponsor this year and everything that was donated? Was Coca-Cola, was
Yeah.
Walmart, who was it?
I think it was Coca-Cola.
Well, maybe we have that.
Maybe he could
Let's
be
talk to,
against
to,
the
to Laura and see if
based on
she
his
can get that
ambitions
person to come.
and Participation, perhaps maybe you can invite him. What do you think?
For who? I'm sorry.
The Coca-Cola sponsor?
Yeah, that's what Jim was saying.
Yeah.
Let's get a hold of Laura and go back to contacting that person from the Coca-Cola industry. They're already big sponsors, and they're already advocates of KLB
That's what I'm
programming
saying.
in the
How
state
many
of Texas.
speakers do you all want?
Just two. Just
Okay, that will be
a
one.
keynote-
First
And
is
then-
Coca-Cola.
and Tony can introduce that person,
Yes.
you know, because I think they work together. She's part of Coca-Cola at the state level, and then she participates with KTB at the state level. So it'd kind of be good if Tony introduced her as our keynote speaker for the year.
We just need to find the contact of the person that represents Coca-Cola and
Well,
Laredo. so that-
Laura, she's on our board.
Laura, she knows those people.
Okay, and then, so we got that, we have the awards. Are we missing anything?
And the big, well, also on the gifts, for also on the Wadi on the tables, the decoration of the tables, I was actually talking to Graciela and I was telling her that it'd be nice if we do the same as last year, like always give back either a plant, seeds, something that, you know, will help us beautify.
Mm-hmm.
Cause, and keep beautifying, so we can do that. The same with different plants and different tables, and at the same time, like a little bag with different seeds for each one
Mhm.
as a gift.
Do we have a budget for that or not?
We actually have budget, but we need to know ASAP because this is our last month to do enter requisitions. We finalized.
let the committee
Based
have-
on the whatever is it, the budget is, I mean, you know, we'll adapt. I usually last year I donated some of the vases and the flowers, so it was part of the donation, so I can do that as well, but I need to see the budget. And, I'll work with
Let
it.
the committee drive it, and you all come back at the next meeting and say, because we'll have one more meeting before the event, basically.
But the budget requisitions need to be processed before the end of this month of
Before
August.
the
Right,
end
that's
So
what I'm
by
saying,
the
have a
time-
committee meeting, get that
Yeah.
done,
Okay.
and
From
proceed.
the committee meeting, Graciela, you need to say, I don't know if you wanna mention who's supposed to be, so that way we can reach out to them and make sure that you all meet before and get an agreement
It's
on
Lynn,
that.
you,
I know it was Lean, it was having,
I know I wanted to be involved.
Mhm.
I missed last month's meeting.
do you
I
wanna
was
be
sick,
involved?
but I still
Yeah.
wanna help. So yeah,
Yeah.
I'm on board.
I
Okay.
think those four, five.
Yes.
And
Yes.
yes.
All right.
Lots
So
of
we
people
need the
have
names.
So can we need the name, can we get the name so it's,
Just ladies, please.
Oh, Cynthia Guerra.
so Cynthia Guerra? And I think we have it in the last minutes.
Yeah,
So,
right, and
but-
then Monica.
Guerra.
Monica.
Monica.
And Lynn said she was in, so Lynn Navajo, the Indian lady.
Graciela, and then I know there was a new member.
It's five, and then Graciela.
I just don't remember. Do you remember the new member's name? He was sitting there with a cap. I think he was a teacher.
Oh, that's right.
Or no, military.
No, it's
Or the
Border
military.
What's her name?
Yeah,
Border Patrol.
is he border patrol?
No,
I
she's
think
a
you
teacher.
No, he's-
UISD or
Yeah.
is he coach?
It's because he mentioned all the activities he does, so that's why we're linking him to teaching and
I think that was
coaching and
No?
that was his first meeting last time. He had just been
Yeah.
training.
sworn in.
Yeah, I know he also mentioned that he wanted to be part of it.
Okay,
So then, so who's gonna be part of the committee?
so it's Cynthia, Monica, Lynn, yourself, and
That's good enough.
Coach. I'm gonna call him Coach for now, because if I didn't know the teacher's name, I'd just call him Coach.
You can never go wrong.
Right, you can never go
Yeah,
wrong.
and that's mainly just to set
So
up
when
what
so
the
Mr. Whitfield, we
So
call
then
him
just
Coach.
have,
and
get
the
the
stuff.
information, just send us an email, so whenever you want for us to join here, and then
Well,
from
if
there.
it can be this week, early
Yeah.
next
Let
week,
me
that'd
know.
be great.
Yeah.
Just to
Sooner the
keep
better.
moving, so that way we can actually start entering what we need.
Okay.
Also, going back onto the food, I don't know what do you think about, I know Graciela mentioned Cindy's Catering, and I mentioned Palenque. But because I work with them since
It's your,
BC and Austin and stuff like that, so I have a real good relation with them. and
Whatever you wanna
it's a
do.
good price.
you can do that. It's your call.
Either or, I mean, I said the same thing, so.
Again, we'll let the committee make that decision.
I
Just
think
come back
that
to this.
Palenque will be a better choice, if it is affordable and we can afford it, then that will be a good,
Yeah.
cause you know.
Yeah, you're not gonna get me to cook. Sorry, Not happening. Not this week.
No, it's good, we can actually get a good price.
Okay.
So
Okay,
that's-
but we can.
Who did
can
we used
check.
somebody last year that was really good also.
What
Uh,
was
Food
it?
was
I
good.
don't remember.
Clementine?
Sometimes, yeah, it was actually pretty good.
And I don't know, I need to look into the POs and stuff to see if it's a competitive or something, so that way if y'all wanna use the same one, I have no problem.
It's
And,
whatever you all.
Let's try whatever the budget.
Es
and
lo
maybe
que
do
ustedes
something
quieran.
different,
I'm
perhaps
just-
maybe. I like the idea
The
of
committee
the
has full
rice
autonomy
beans
to
because it's kind of like,
make those
you know,
decisions
outdoors,
within the
so it's
budget.
kind of
Right,
like, we'll
within
do
budget.
something good.
Yeah.
And if the budget fits, then why not?
You all have full autonomy to do what you need to do within the budget. As long as you stay within budget, we're good.
I can tell you what I want, but I
You
think
want?
it's
Please,
the
please,
autonomy
What
of
do you
the
No,
committee.
go ahead.
What do you want?
I want to hear something, yes, please.
Okay, last year we bought gifts from Walmart, and I think I don't know who I text. I'm like, hey, Walmart has these on sale. Remember the beds, the garden beds? They were $84 right now. They were $40. I said, hey, they're $40 at 50% off. You can get more for giveaways. So we did that. For catering, if we go with Taco Palenque this just to switch it out, and I think they can give you a big portion, and then we can line it up, and we can have a theme. We can do a theme like a fiesta theme.
Yes,
16 de
something.
well, not 16 de September / Dia de los Muertos, whatever you all want, something like that, because it's in November, it's October now, I think.
October 1st, yeah.
But I
Well,
said
we
the
can do
first,
something
you
like
know,
that.
The outdoors, and it will be
See.
something nice, Taco Palenque, and then I agree with you.
And then
let's-
have the plants could be like cacti or stuff like that, and maybe a history behind some of the ones that grow in Laredo.
like a fiesta.
I like it. I like the idea.
What do you think? And then decor, but you're gonna do Coca-Cola comes in. I'm just thinking, what is their trademark or?
Red.
Well, then
Mark.
we
I mean,
get
they
the
are-
team
they
so
are
that
red.
way we
I
can
mean,
do
it's
the
red is their
invitation
thing.
also. That's
I'm
how
sure
I
they
said
ask
Allison
me
come
for
and they
all
do,
the
like,
people
for the
with the
parade, they gave
invitation.
us a bunch of
The
swag.
invitation, I
Just
said
like
listen,
glasses
See.
and like
better.
Mhm.
No,
like
but
tons of
what-
stuff.
And we
So
can
I'm
make it
sure they
again
can
like
come up with something.
themed with red.
Going
When you do
back
Mexican,
to
you know you can get
Yeah,
red.
the color is red, that's true.
Suggestion, you need the invitation with the team so that people
Sí.
knows what to expect. Because that's what we used to first kind of figure out the
Western,
team.
whatever.
And based on that,
Maybe
we
we
can
can
do it.
take some of those Mexican Coke bottles and use them as centerpieces.
Ah, sí. Solo Coca-Cola que nos dé the Coke bottles. The glass ones, please.
Glass ones.
The little ones.
Little
And
Because
just-
I don't drink that much.
There you go.
Yeah, put esperanzas in them.
The medio litro ones that are a little more,
Oh yeah.
a little
There you
bigger.
go. That could be part of your decor.
Mhm.
Cool.
Well, you all decide. Well, I'm
I mean,
going over here, but I should go over here. Ladies, gentlemen, that's not here.
No, it's all
I'll
of us.
So
support
ya,
the
ahorita ya,
project-
okay,
I'll
corre,
support the
run.
project with funding if I need some.
So I'm just waiting to see
Just-
whatever it is that she tells me.
that point,
like,
come
you
talk
know,
to me.
Graciela, this is what we have, this is what we can afford, and then from there, we can say, okay, well,
We have the
can
black
afford
card.
these, we can. No, we don't.
We have the black card, so
So
just
that's-
go
you know,
and
that's
come
the
and tell her
thing.
this is what
We
you're
have a
proposing
white
and
card.
that.
We can say whatever, but what if we can afford it?
Yeah,
It's
I
H-E-B.
donated for the gifts, like the candles.
Mhm.
So we did like
She
the
did.
jars.
She donated.
So that I have the cacti mold, then we can always do something like that. I have a ton of wax unused that we can use.
There you have it.
No,
There you go.
And then you can,
So we
yes,
have that.
outside, outdoor,
Okay.
and it's already,
We also did
well,
the
I don't know about
balloons.
fall, winter, but
So as long
ahí
as
vamos.
you guys bought the balloons, like we did the arch. Yeah.
And that's all we need. We need for them to interact, but
Okay.
the first thing we need is to come up with the team so you can do the invitation
The,
officially.
the committee is
and
there.
send it
Yeah,
out
now we
for-
have it, we
Sí.
just,
Desserts
We
too.
do the listing of the people, besides the volunteers that are gonna receive a recognition, besides the people that is gonna be, is competing, who else is gonna be invited, so we can share that invitation with enough time, so we can do our SVP for them.
September, but, so
Yeah.
let's just approve everything, get it all done by the September meeting, which is what we'll discuss in a little
Yes.
bit.
Because we
So
couldn't
that way
find
you can
anything,
think
but
of
now
it
little by
as-
little, we're kind of like finding all the information, fitting in the pieces, and now once we have it together, we're gonna have the new structure, and then we can go on, and you know,
Yeah.
from there.
But so that way you can, for next meeting, also start thinking in your RSVP, so
Okay.
who else?
Okay.
That needs to, I know that Mayra has mentioned before, it's, we need key people that actually will help us grow, right, as a key creative and you president also has said that, like, we need to get people that actually can share with schools and now, you know, get us up there, cause there's some things that we're
Everyone
missing
has-
for that application for the
Why not
governor and we wanna make sure we
invite,
get it.
let's invite, Tammy, your president, Elsie, president, I mean, because, you know,
Sure.
that would be a good idea.
Your superintendents,
Yes.
and start getting them, start showcasing, your presentation needs to be top of the line. So they could start seeing, oh my God, this is what I'm doing, but your speaker is gonna be your key.
Yeah.
If you get a speaker that is reputable and people wanna go cause they wanna go see the speaker,
Exactly.
I think that's maybe where you're coming from. Not so much the political aspect of it, but it's an engaging speaker that you will have presidents, superintendents wanting to come
Exactly.
for that purpose, and then still have your main core.
But also the importance of keep Laredo beautiful.
Yes.
The beautification side and the importance of the volunteer hours for students and actually showcasing how important it is for us to meet all those application requirements and getting our young kids involved.
That goes back to one of the line items.
Because that's what we were missing last time, and if we can actually nail that with our school level and get them exposed of, you know, how important it is of the environment, how important it is, you know, making a
That's-
difference, doing cleanups, doing workshops, you know, be hands-on, that'd be great, and I know that, Mr. Belmares had mentioned before, we can do small workshops, we can start with little things and getting all these schools involved. And if we can have Tommy, you helping us to give these workshops, we can do the training. You know,
think
stuff
there's
like that where
opportunity
we
for that.
actually get those kids out
Once
there.
Well, I think
get
I have
their
someone who
funding
can help
support,
us
I mean,
propel the youth council, and she loves that. She helped lead the City of Laredo Youth Council back up, and she does a lot of things for Rotary, at least to help us propel it out. And worked at the school districts.
Okay, so then if we're good with the committee having that autonomy to kind of make all that happen, then I need a
we
motion.
can make it happen.
Okay, so then I'll entertain a motion to allow the Esperanza Awards Committee to develop the program, the theme, invitation, all those within budget. Motion. And a second. I have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. You're now in charge. Let's have a good Esperanza.
Yay.
All right, treasurer's report. What do we got?
On the treasure report, actually we did real good this year. We've been able to meet all our cleanups. We actually have an inventory. We have, even for future, graffiti removal, painting, we do have some money, and
Okay.
also we have materials.
Okay, so
Actually, right now, just FYI, we are cleaning our warehouses to find out what material we have. So whatever funding we have from Keep Laredo Beautiful available, we'll be able to actually order everything for our coming cleanups and make sure that we have everything that we need.
so how much money do we have available to us?
Well, it's in different places, but we can do transfer based on what we need. But so far, we'll be able to cover the Esperanza Awards, I
Okay.
think, okay, and we'll still have money for promotional, and we'll still have money for that. I don't have a lot, but based on
More
what's
the
left
money,
from this
girl.
year, whatever's left for the year, we can do a lot and prepare for future, like I'm saying, whatever, we have an activity, look forward to summer. I just don't have enough money for trees, and that's something
That's okay.
that-
We're gonna work on that.
Exactly.
I have a plan.
Yes,
So-
but and the rest of the, whatever we need for cleanups, graffiti removal, workshops, if you wanna do, we can actually move funding around and make it happen. I know that, I asked Federico to update the calendar of what's left.
Okay.
Just FYI, the National Guard reached out to us and said that they wanna participate more in cleanups.
Okay.
And wanna be part of the City of Laredo with parks and help us beautify the parks. But
Okay.
right now, and this is for your information, they wanna do more than picking up trash with pickers.
Okay.
So we took
Totally
it
understand.
legal, right now it's at the legal department.
Mhm.
See if they can use a weed eater, see if they can use a blower, stuff like that. And I'm just saying about the National Guard, I'm not saying for the rest of the volunteers.
Right.
Because this is a group that's gonna be here in Laredo for more than a year and a half. The same platoons are gonna be here for more than a year and a half, and they would like to be more hands-on. Okay, so they were asking for permission, like this last time that we went to Las Palmas, that they pick up 5.26 tons of palms.
Mhm.
They wanted to do much more, we didn't allow them to do that. Okay, like use, equipment until we get the approval officially,
From
because
legal.
we still.
From
we-
risk.
Yes, we just need to make sure from
Okay.
our side that it's possible.
So
If
Araceli,
not-
I think what I'm gonna want, I think what the committee needs is for you to present us a budget every month that says, this is what we have, this is what we spent, this is what we'll need to generate to be able to do cleanups in the future.
Okay.
If you will tell us that, then I can help you find funding for those types of things. Or materials. In lieu of these $5,000 that we need, can you maybe help us find, rakes, pickers, bags, food? Any one of those things, if you will put a budget together for us on a monthly basis, based on what you already have and what you need for each of the cleanups, I think the committee can help you find these things, or go twist the arm of a council member who's,
Well, and that will be easier once we start October 1st. Because
Okay.
right now, we're
That's
just
fine.
working with the remaining of our present budget year.
yeah,
So it's kind of hard because I'm trying to cover little, like this ceremony, I'm
Right.
trying to cover stuff, but I know that whatever funding I have, if the funding right now present that we have, I would like to split it if possible by saving for next year,
That's
if I
fine.
can, to
But
be able to
but if you
use
can
it.
get started this year in October, when you come to this point next year, you'll know exactly what you have, what you need to slide
Yeah,
over.
and I can do that easily because we can do a breakdown for month on whatever is
Perfect.
available
Okay.
for us.
So bring that
will
to us the
be-
next time, so that we can have that and help you that. We want to. Part of what I think we're lacking as a board is the ability to fundraise for you. We don't really do fundraisers.
And that would be nice if we can do something like that at least twice a year,
Mm-hmm.
where we do something to bring, if we don't have enough sponsorships and stuff, and you wanna achieve more like tree plantings and do
Mhm.
murals, or I don't know what your projects will be in mind.
Right.
That will be great, because everything now, even a small mural costs $4,000,
I
$5,000.
understand.
Okay?
And some of the other key Texas Beautiful affiliates, they were fundraisers. They did a lot of that
A lot of
to
fundraisers.
sustain themselves, because they were not attached to a city. They did not have support from city. They're independent.
But we can do that too, if we can start promoting more hands-on projects too, and do that. But on the budget, I don't think I will have a problem, because
Okay.
it will be a new
It's
budget.
it's what you do. I know you know. You know where all the money
But
is.
you know,
Suelta.
She knows where all the money is. She just doesn't want to tell you. That's what it is.
So it's
Okay.
easy to find money.
Okay.
Find money.
So, but for the now, we have enough to cover the event
The event.
and have a little bit left over to do our first
And
cleanups
we
in
will
October.
give you a better idea of our inventory. Right now, we actually have a breakdown of the tools that we have, but I'm still in the transition. It will take me 2 more weekends, and we'll
Do
have
you-
everything, so that way you know what you have in inventory.
Do you have a Keep Laredo Beautiful trailer?
We don't have a keep Laredo for trailer, we have a
That's-
trailer, but if we
That's
need one.
all I wanted to know.
Okay.
Because there's somebody who's been chirping about something. I finally turned around and said, well, if your employer, if your boss was so good at what he did, why don't you just give us a trailer and wrap it with Keep Laredo Beautiful stuff on it, kind of make it look nice.
Yeah,
And we'll
that'd
put
be
his name
nice.
on the back end of it. We'll, sponsored by Ron Hoover. We'll put all that on there for you.
No,
So
we have so many trailers in the city of Laredo that whenever we need them, that's where we get them, but actually keep Laredo doesn't have one.
needs to have one.
Just for
Makes-
advertising and marketing of the program.
Yeah.
When they're out and about, since it's almost every weekend, you do have traffic in some of these areas, so it's
Yeah.
it's nice to see it and branded.
Yep. Stick a QR code on it on how to
How to-
donate and or how to get to our
volunteer.
website, volunteer, that kind of stuff.
If somebody can work on that and get ideas from Mr. Romanes, and actually with his picture in it, let us have it, and maybe we can start doing fundraising or something, and make it like a goal to get it, and maybe we can
Yeah.
get some funding.
Or a
from the
grant.
Oh,
city
no,
of
no,
Laredo.
I'm just hoping the guy just decides to
Or we
give
can
it
write a
to us.
grant.
Or lets us have it,
Okay.
or
You're
gives it to us for 2 years. It just says, here, this is yours for 2 years, and all we have to do is cover the insurance on it. And we'll figure out a way to get that done. But I think if we don't have a trailer that belongs to Keep Laredo Beautiful,
No,
that
we
is
don't
decked,
have it.
then we need to
And
have it.
that's right now, we're working in the inventory, so that way you know, there may be, because we have one thing that's good that you mentioned, Mr. Romanes, because it's like right now, what's coming out with Tommy U is Make a Difference. What is it, in October? That same day, we have one of the Rotaries coming out, they wanna do something else, and they wanna use also the resources from Keep Laredo Beautiful.
Yeah.
As for right now, I can tell you, if they need tools, we do have it. That's what we do in the inventory, because we can have 2 or 3 events at the same time with the inventory. And we can actually, just not concentrate on one. We can leave one, and we can share with the rest based on our requirements. If they need materials, they need this, they need that, we'll be able to help. As long as we get the numbers, we get the credit for what they're doing, and we can present it that it's not just one, our school or our university taking care. We have different groups doing the same thing on the same day.
Okay, so then treasurer's report next time kind of gives us all of that.
Yes, and that will be for the next fiscal year.
Okay, so then no action required on that. We'll leave that
Okay.
alone. The next item is an urban cleanup. Speaking to the council member, we've wanted to do something a little bit different. I know that there are other KTVs that I spoke to that have done an urban cleanup, where they go in and they take a town square. Obviously, some of these towns aren't as big as Laredo, and they have a true live and lively downtown. So they go in and they just pressure wash all the sidewalks. They paint all the stripes. They do everything. They put flower pots everywhere. They hang up signs, and they do all that. And they usually do it sometime before a big event that they have. And I really thought that was a great idea for us to, again, try to keep putting something into downtown to eventually get people to start coming back to it. The city currently owns, like I said, two portions of the entire block where the Plaza Theater is. And
Most of it is probably
yeah,
the city.
because everything in the center, the city hall, we own all of that square where the plaza is, all the way from one corner to corner,
Where the new LPD station is.
and the LPD station. And so if we just went in there and cleaned it all up, painted it all up, maybe that's where the councilwoman can do her Christmas thing. And that was my pitch to her. And she said, I'd love to do that. They could have a big Christmas festival afterwards. You invite all the food, your food trucks, park down there. You have music, and you do a big Christmas event. You light up the street.
And that's one thing, if you actually plan this well with council member Alisa Cigarroa, she'll give you what you need to do responsible. But give her time and give her like something, and she won't even use city resources.
Right. Well, she's probably gonna need some, but I was in Gatlinburg for a vacation, and they have a trail of lights. It's basically a big street, and for like 20 blocks, you're just driving under lights. I mean, it was really pretty with it. I mean, they only had a portion of it over the bridge turned on when I was there because it was in the middle of early part of June. But during Christmas, because Dollywood is right up the road from them in Pigeon Forge, you drive and you come to Gatlinburg, and the entire downtown is all lit up like that. And so it becomes a great attraction. So, something for us to consider to help her do that. And at the same time, do something different, an urban cleanup. We'll go and plant the plants. We'll do all of that.
Do you have a date or something?
First week of December is what I'm thinking. If we don't have anything on our calendar yet, I know we have a full calendar, but if we don't have anything in the first weekend of December, that's my pitch to her. And she's on board to help fund it, but we would just need a commitment from us. And this is a great place for the National Guard to come in, because they can paint, and if they get authorization to use equipment, they're the ones that can use the pressure washers. I have 2 pressure washers of my own that I can bring.
What's our schedule in December, Federico? I have some to print the calendar for you to just go back and see if anything's available.
We have the environmental services has the HHW on the 2nd, which is a Saturday, and then we have a schedule. KOB has a schedule to adopt the highway on the 2nd week of December, which is that Saturday would be the 9th of December.
So do you think, John, Director Porter needs us for the household hazardous waste collection?
No, usually they do it in-house with the employees right on top of it.
So then if we could take parts,
Maybe you can be on December 2nd, that will be a different project for people to do.
if we could talk to Tina Martinez and get community development as well, code enforcement, to kind of help us out with that as well, and then parks, obviously parks, because they take care of the downtown city hall, the old city hall, right? And then maybe if
they
that,
actually the ones in charge of cleaning the outside city hall and with the pressure washer there. But if it's bad, because I haven't been there in a while, we can actually get the people from Public Works that have the ones that do the sidewalks. Do the sidewalks, because their equipment is a little bit based on.
yeah, I don't know if you've been there.
Not lately, I used to go more when I was in this.
Yeah, they could do some touch up. Do the cleanup, yeah. I was at Ala Burger the other day, and I walked from La Posada and walked up to Ala Burger and said,
Well, you need to do the site visit, so that way you can take pictures of the before and have like a plan in action of what you actually wanna beautify that day. If it's only the cleanup of the sidewalks, if you need to paint, what businesses are around, maybe they wanna donate something. Cause I know we have some in what is it, San Agustin Street?
We have the Luisa Posada, and then we have the San Agustin Church, and then.
Right.
No,
Well, as
but
you
you're
come-
going back,
Yeah.
you're saying by City Hall,
so when you,
all City Hall.
Old City
which is
Hall,
what the
so you have the
Plaza
Webb
Theater
County
is at.
Heritage Foundation,
San Agustin.
the Center for the Arts,
Uh-huh.
you
Yeah, the
have
Black
the police department, you have Plaza.
And then next to the police department, there's a lot kind of businesses, maybe we can.
Ala
talk
Burger's
to-
one of them, but the others are, little dance places.
But that's what I'm saying, but even if we help them beautify, if they wanna kinda sponsor, with
Mm,
paint or anything,
beautification.
they don't need to give anything, but if they
No.
would like to see their business in a different color or whatever, just let them know, we're beautifying the area, if you wanna participate, you can give us your paint and we'll have the volunteers do it for you.
Right.
You know, stuff like that where you motivate and also give them that incentive that we'll do the work. If you can actually give us something and actually beautify, not just the city of Laredo area, but your area too. Cause we
Well-
wanna make sure if the goal is to verify it,
Mhm.
beautify the area, not
Well,
just,
and it
not just
becomes-
belong to the city of Laredo.
Well, it becomes it becomes a community project where
That's
it's a
what I'm saying.
business,
Right.
the
Get
city,
everybody involved.
The county, the
nonprofits,
nonprofits,
yes.
Do this site visits.
It's a
and,
private,
knock some
public,
doors
Okay.
and say, we
municipality
can, This is
partnership.
our plan, if you wanna be part of the plan, you can facilitate your paying, you can, how you would like to verify it, and we'll have the volunteers, and we can do the entire block and give the credit entirely to keep doing it.
and it
Okay.
becomes
And
an
not
economic,
just the resources, but
Yeah.
the community.
and it becomes an economic development opportunity because then your volunteers sometimes end up have not gone downtown, end up buying some products from downtown. Maybe they needed that little boost. They buy some food, and or obviously if the lights and all that infrastructure happens, that I'll see, yeah, and everybody starts posting on social media the beautification project and encouraging people from out of town to come and visit. People, I drive to little towns just to see what they're doing
For Christmas.
for Christmas, and I spend money to eat and stay in those locations. And so why are we not transporting
That's it.
people to Laredo to come and sit and eat and visit and tourism and visit our downtown area? And they obviously a lot of them are very excited when they see the river.
You just gave me a great idea.
Well, that's
I
very
pick somebody's
ambitious.
pocket.
but
See,
I
I-
see,
No,
like, yeah.
We see it all the time, and I'm like, yeah, it's just the river. And every time we have, again, I always have new faculty members, students from other countries come in and say, oh my God, you have this gem. And I'm like, yeah, it's just the river. Not to diminish the importance of it, but we see it so often that we don't see the jewel.
No,
Yeah, we
take
don't
it-
see the
take it for
joy
granted.
and appreciate of what we have. And so I think that it's a good opportunity, again, if we want to revitalize our downtown area. I think a project like this will get us to where we need to
No,
go.
and also because they always say that we don't acknowledge downtown, and we have few merchants, we have few businesses, and if we actually just help them with their hands, cause
Yeah.
I mean, if they give you the paint and we do the labor, I
They can
mean.
give you a check as well.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Wish they would.
That's
Take
what
care.
I'm
Then we
saying.
can put both hands in there.
No, but what I'm saying is, it's inviting, right?
Yes,
Because you
yes.
have someone that actually is trying to take care of you, and they care, and they just wanna beautify it overall, not just one building, not just the city buildings,
That's
not
right.
that. We don't wanna leave nobody left out.
Yeah.
And if inviting and knocking at the door and doing the invitation personally will make a difference, and actually exposing the plan of what is coming, we're
Sure.
gonna put, clean up your sidewalk, do your walls, if you allow it and you help us, and then,
Yeah.
like he said, new pots,
New
with
plants,
and
flowers.
stuff, like, make it inviting. And also the council member from that district will be happy because it's something that she wants. She
I mean, you'll
wants
be
to make sure
surprised
everybody
just what a
sees
few,
this.
paint and pots
Yeah,
and
just a-
lighting can
Light.
do for a city, especially at night.
Yep.
I mean, you can bring it back to.
And I think
No,
everybody
and
will
if they
feel
wanna hang
comfortable
out
with
lights
police
outside-
departments right there in the corner. They have a substation there. So in terms of making it walkable and friendly, the police will be right
Oh,
there.
and that's another thing, if they wanna hang out lights and they wanna give us a string, hey, as long as you pay with your light, we can hang everything outside.
What's the place? I was with my son downtown, and we passed. What's that corridor by where's
That's Angelo?
Yes, it's Santelo. We passed through there, and he was so excited. I had to go back again and again. I'm like, okay, kid, it's over. After the third time, but to have a 5-year-old feel so proud of that and ask parents to transition back and forth because he loved the aesthetic of it, that is already giving you a vibe of what the environment we have. We have an amazing city. It's just a matter of continuing to toot our own horns and say, look at the wonderful city we have.
We have
And
beautiful
we can
structures
do
still.
it at
Oh
two
my God,
blocks.
we
Right
have-
now we
it's
have at
beautiful.
one block, it's only at the time to look. We can add the other block, that'll be nicer too.
Mhm.
And that's what I'm saying.
I want what do you call it,
councilwoman will be more
And
than
I
glad
can
to
see
do
with the
it.
tangible.
The umbrellas?
The
I want those damn umbrellas
very
somewhere.
nice, but beautify as
We
well.
can beautify those schools
The-
too.
Yes, exactly. We can start from there.
And the other?
We can beautify the following block, by
See?
painting them and then.
But I wanted the
they're
entire
gonna
street
artists to
just
paint it,
umbrellas, and I
then we can
promise
light it
you,
up.
all the people from San Antonio
Yeah.
North will come just to see that. Nothing major. Just their damn umbrellas hanging. They'll come and see it.
White or beige.
Yes,
And then
that's
you
it.
can buy
And then you
artists,
have your little
freelancers.
setups where you can sit, and then you
You
can
can.
design your Instagram spots.
I like the idea. And so,
And it isn't.
what we'll do is,
But this is you keep a little bit of just.
let's not
Let's
take
not
any-
sidetrack.
Well, let's not take any action on this. Let me just bring back a report after I speak to the council member. Kind of have a plan, and then we can vote on the plan, and if we like it, then we proceed with it, and then we'll just need to find
But she
some.
can order the lights because actually, and this is just FYI, she had asked for more lighting. And right now is the right time because she does have time.
That would be great. Any other changes?
Something we can coordinate with as well, this last thing, environmental services just applied to a grant with the Department of Energy. And it's the Energy Efficiency Conservation Block Grant, and we requested for LED lights and solar trash compactors in the downtown area.
Yay!
So maybe we have about $271,000 available for that. And it
That's a
is
good project.
allocated to the downtown area, so maybe we can coordinate to
The start of
that
that, yeah.
specific area.
I'm with you.
And the timing as well.
Yeah, for
Very
that
cool.
one, it will be San Agustin, it will be where the city hall is, the area that y'all wanna, the same plans to be verified. And over here by where the transit center is at, because those are and St. Peter's, those are the four plazas
That's
more
the start of it.
visited there.
And in every other block, it's like that. You can see all the way down, you see
No.
the
Because
other
that's
arch?
the historical
You do that,
area,
I'm gonna have
St.
everybody
Peter's
come.
and all that. That'd be
Okay.
great. San Agustin, that area, St. Peter's, which is part of the historical, and that's the more visited areas.
And even is it the Faskins? That's
Yes.
still up, I mean, even the Faskins want to,
Through the Prairie Foundation. Have we ever gotten a grant from the Prairie
Nope.
Foundation?
no. Can help us fund some
That's
of
big
those.
money. Okay,
That's
all
big
right,
money.
it's big money. We gotta ask. Okay,
Not a lot of work.
so then the next item is item
Let
D.
him do the work. He knows how to.
I like doing that work. That's the kind of stuff I like working. I like working all those things. Executive Director, progress report.
Okay.
Where do we have an executive director? Are we gonna have an executive director?
What's the
Based
status?
on,
What's-
this past week, Mr. Porter had, 4 or 5 interviews, I don't know.
Okay.
Actually, there were like 6, right? 2 actually had
Canceled?
already taken a position somewhere else.
Okay,
So he ended up interviewing 2 or 3. So, he's ready to do the selection.
so we're
So,
more or less time frame when we have another executive director.
we're hoping less than a month.
It's not like you don't-
because based on the
Unless you wanna
process
keep
of the
working both things.
No.
So what's that process like, Araceli?
It's because everything goes through HR and it doesn't matter, you can do the selection now, but they have to give her a call, everything goes through the background check, the release of everything, and until everything gets back. It can be 10 days, it can be 14 days, it depends on just what they need from that person.
So like in this case, Mr. Porter sends off the notification to HR that he's made his selections, submits whatever paperwork he has. Then HR starts their
Their process.
process.
It depends also on the
To review,
response
make
of
sure
the
that
applicant
everything's in
to provide
check.
How
everything on
fast
that
they
timely
can-
manner.
Okay.
So it's not just based on city requirements, it's also that the
Other-
person and the applicant provides everything in a timely manner. It can take 2 weeks. But actually, we're talking about it, Master, right now, as you all know, we have the budget meetings right now. So he said, once his budget meetings are over, we can go over whatever, and I told him, we need the position. We should need the position because
Filled.
it's.
Well, because we don't want to fall behind. We want to win next year,
Yeah.
so we don't want to fall behind.
And I told him that I had spoke to you and I said, I know he talked to you, so we need to make this election. Because now that we don't have Ashley, it is a lot of work. Federico does have his task and I have.
You're gonna look like me at some
I think
point. You're gonna just look this aged, you know. So hopefully get you some help there.
Yeah.
Well, here's what my thoughts are. You have a really excited and energized board.
Yes.
Several of us went to, as you to KTB. You have a series of board members that have been committed for a long time, and now we have some new folks. If there was ever a time to kind of have somebody put everything together and drive this thing so that we could win and that we could raise the money and could kind of become the I mean, I think that we're at the edge of something really good for us.
We're on the right track. We just need to make sure we have a leader and the aspect of the city of Laredo representing people of Laredo.
I got to tell you that, that I was really, humbled by the fact that when I went to see Ria Zulzmia was our former assistant city manager. He used to be head of utilities, and before that, he was environmental. And of course, he was the one who started this program with us back in 2003. He's now at Lake Jackson. In Lake Jackson, Texas, I walk into the city hall, and everywhere is nothing but Keep Texas Beautiful awards. Like, they win every year. They beat everybody. And I'm not sure what their formula was. They weren't doing anything spectacular. We collect way more trash per capita than they do. We do far more cleanups than they do.
More volunteers than they do.
Yeah, their demographic is an aging population. They have a lot of retirees. The city was built back in the late 1800s, early 1900s, because of the chemical plant that was built close by. So the entire city was built by Dow Chemical. And all the buildings were owned by Dow Chemical. The store was owned by Dow Chemical. And if you remember those old stories in history, there's a song that says, I owe my soul to the company store, was because instead of giving you full pay, they'd give you a portion of the pay, but then they'd provide you a house. And then you had credit at the store. And so for every week worked, you could go to the store and they would give you food and everything else. But everything was owned by the company. You hired people and brought them in and gave them nice big houses and stuff. But now you see the city that's now, it's progressive, but there are some beautiful houses that are kind of antebellum houses. They just big yards. Everything is green. There's trails inside the city. And I didn't see one speck of trash anywhere. And so maybe that's their formula, but it was just really, really neat. And I keep thinking, why can't that be us? We do so much more. And I can't believe that San Antonio tied us. Chumps. We do more.
They became good friends, though.
Huh?
They became good friends.
Yeah, we became good friends.
San Antonio
We're picking their brains.
became good friends, right? They went shopping with.
Yes, and actually, San Antonio is doing a lot of the legwork themselves. They don't have a city to
That's right.
support
They don't-
Yeah, it's the volunteers.
So it's
They're a
actually-
full
it's
nonprofit.
actually the group that have been together for a long time, the ones to make sure that San Antonio stays on top of things, but they have to hustle, they have to do sponsorships, they have to do events, they need to do fundraising, and they rely a lot on sponsorship from big vendors and entities and stuff like that.
Yeah, and they have a lot to choose
They
from.
don't have the support from the city, not even from the council members from the city.
Yeah.
So this is how you can see, as per experience, that if we want to, we can do it.
Yeah.
Because Laredo is a smaller city, and we have a lot of people like here, we just need to get us up there.
Yeah.
And we have the support of the city.
Agreed.
Actually, even funding from the city.
So you think that within about 3 weeks we'll have a?
I hope so.
By the end of
Because he
September.
just
End of
asked me
September.
to go
That'd be good.
this week.
Okay.
One thing I did notice in Lake Jackson, so I went right after the conference, and a lot of their parks were like funded by the Rotary, and so I went to like 3 different parks, and
They're all
of the
adopted
installments
by-
were from Rotary, and
right.
I was like, wow, I was surprised.
I mean, their
Well,
adopt the park program is
yeah,
pretty
their adopt the
pretty
program.
pretty robust. I mean, so
And we do have the same thing, because if you look at some of our parks, they do have, maybe not the entire park, but there's some pocket areas that the Rotarians have adopted.
Yeah, so maybe a
The
stronger
maintenance
partnership.
is something
Yeah.
we need to work on,
That's
but
something that we have to work on the adopted spot.
yeah.
When I was in part of environmental, I try to do that with parks, because right now it's under parks, and we need to, if y'all
Free.
put a little focus on that, that'd be great, and we can standardize it as it is in other cities.
Agreed.
what is it? Is it? It's
Adopt a spot.
Okay.
You just pick a spot and you adopt it and clean it up and dress it up.
And it
Plus
can
the
be,
seed
like you said,
library
it can
was
be
one of
a
my
Rotary,
favorites.
It can be a school, it can be
I want to know
it can be, so many students that we have different programs that they can take forward.
And then I'm just gonna pass out this sheet of the past events that we've had and upcoming events that we'll have in case
Okay.
any of you wanna volunteer. So we had a backpack distribution event
saw
on
that.
Friday, July 21st, and Graciela actually went there to help represent KOB.
This was the one at the police department?
It was
Yeah.
super nice.
It looked like there was a lot of people.
We also have
Really?
the Las Palmas cleanup
Okay.
that Araceli helped organize, and they collected 5.53 tons of dry palm leaves with the National Guard. And then this week, on Thursday, we have a back to school event with District 2 at the McKendrick Ochoa Salinas Library. So if anybody would like to attend and help volunteer, you can email me or you can call the office and we can set that up. And then lastly, on this Saturday, we'll have another back to school health fair. It's with the Gateway Community Health Center, and that one we're planning to give away seeds with KOB, and then the general environmental propaganda. We have the coloring books and stuff.
Awesome.
And that's something that I wanted to mention to you all, that if you can start doing workshops in reference to KOB this summer, it's like a key, because based on all the school, back to school giveaways, they can promote, but they'll also promote the workshops for little kids and stuff like that. How to take care of a plant, how to plant a little plant, how they treat the seeds, and
Sure.
how to water plants and stuff
How to
like that.
raise
It's
gardens, that
small
kind of
things
stuff. Mhm.
can make a difference, and it can help us also on the application.
Actually, we ran out of glue, remember? And he had some posters, and then actually it's a cycle how to take care of the city. And I was so hyped and so excited. We'd run out of glue, so I was just telling of the kids, right, how to take care of it and how to make like a little, activity before going back to school. And the parents were just like, and he was like, "You're so good at it." I'm like,
Very cool. The seed library. Somebody, I'm not sure what community had a seed library. You'd go and you take seeds and you give seeds also. You exchange them but they have it like like the old drawer that you pull out, and there's little packages of seeds, and you would just look for the thing you wanted to plant, and you can take some.
Yeah.
"What's he gonna be giving it?"
So that'd be a good thing to do with the library there at the main library, and also the one at the McKendrick Ochoa.
Yeah.
Okay, so the next big project that I'd like to see us work on is the Tree City USA, and the reason I brought this to the board is because it tackles several issues that our community faces. The first one is we just don't have enough trees, right? Mm-hmm. And so we're constantly trying to plant trees. And to be part of Tree City USA, we already meet most of those requirements. We plant trees at all the parks annually. We have tree planting events. You have a committed board that can manage that organization or that designation, which is Keep Laredo Beautiful. You have a forester. The city of Laredo has a forester in its parks department, and it has a nursery. The only thing that's missing is some funding and an organized effort to fulfill all the items in the criteria for Tree City USA, and then make the application. And I want to say the applications are open in December of this year and close like in May. And so that's the goal. The other part of this is the city of Laredo owns a brand new landfill. I don't know if you all are familiar with that. They bought a landfill from the Trevino family called Ponderosa. It is a state-of-the-art landfill that was built to keep other landfills from being created in the area. But ultimately, his whole goal was to give it to the city or to sell it to the city at some point, and he did. So the city now owns that. It's 800 or 580 acres, I think, total. It has a 100-year lifespan, but it again is state of the art. It has monitoring wells. It's being built in a way where it's environmentally friendly. Part of that landfill came with licenses to create compost. So now you can do like Dillo Dirt, like you do it in Austin, and it also has a place where you could have enough acreage to do a 50-acre tree farm. So that's part of that. The second part of that deal, actually the third, the trees, the landfill, the other is utilities. As you all know, the city of Laredo has been under several boil water notices. Half the reason those occur are not because the water's not good. It's well treated, it comes out of the plant in great shape, but the further it goes down the line, it starts to age. So along the way, they put more chlorine in it, or they circulate it, but the further and further it goes out, the longer it stays in the pipe. And by the time it gets to a point like near the colonias, at that point the water is aged and begins to get nitrification, which means there are bacteria that grows in there that eats away the chlorine. And so you have no way to keep it sanitized. So what they do is they flush, and they flush, and they flush. So we're tossing tens of thousands of gallons a day into creeks, into the storm drains. That's how the city does that. Well, the one area that gets the most, if you all have noticed, is always 359. For whatever reason, 359 gets all the boil water notices. Well, because that's the furthest end of the treatment plant. The treatment plant's on Jefferson, over here by the Laredo Water Museum. So imagine having to go all the way down past the landfill to the colonias where the youth village is, and a little further, because the city was required under the colonias program to assist the county in providing water, that's where the water is aging. And no matter what they do, they have so many issues of being able to keep that thing from going into this boil water notice stuff. And it could be a drop in pressure, it could be whatever it is, but those things happen. So what I talked to Arturo Garcia and John Porter about was, aren't we close enough to the landfill? Don't we run by the landfill? He goes, yeah, we're pretty close. If we're not, I think we cross it. And the last water line does. I said, why couldn't we tie it to that line and then bring it across? And so if we're already getting rid of the water, we're just throwing it, why don't we use it to irrigate a tree farm? And use it to create a compost center, right? Because you need a lot of water for composting to turn it into dillo dirt. So they're looking at it. They think that's a great idea. Plus, when you build the cells for the landfill, you have to keep them from eroding, and so they throw grass seed, but you have to irrigate. So why not use well water that they already have, because they drilled some wells out there, but then supplement that with the water that you already have to throw for the water circulation, and add that to the program. And now there's a rural grant that will help you with that. So they started to look at that in the last, when we were at the ribbon cutting for Springfield. Both of them said, we think this idea is going to work, but we need a council member to kind of champion it for us. And so I talked to 2 council members. They're willing to put it on the council's agenda after the budget meetings.
Not anywhere good, because if you see Jefferson and Anna, all the way to 359.
It's a long way.
Just from, actually Springfield to, the loop is like 4 miles. Imagine going that way and then still going all the way to La Colonias. I don't think
And then, there's a principal line that fills up the tank at Las Blancas. That's the next one. There's one at the landfill that's filled up there as well. And so those 2 tanks have to circulate that water. There's just not enough consumption out there. And that's really what it is. So they're starting to build loops where they can kind of loop the water back in, but ultimately they're going to need consumption. So what a better way to use that water than instead of just throwing it in a creek? Let's irrigate. Let's bring a tree farm to life. So then we could kickstart the project by getting tree donations. People will donate the trees and put them in the nursery, and then someday we'll put them out at a park. And I think with the rural grant, there's $350,000 available in the rural grant for that project. And so they're going to apply for it, and hopefully we can kickstart that. But the funding components, I think the last component we needed for the application to actually meet all the criteria for Tree City USA. Now, whether we get the designation, I don't know, but at least we'll check off the boxes. So I would like to see us champion that, if we could, with the city. Obviously, the Parks Department and Solid Waste would have to play a big role, and then utilities would be a huge supplement to that, because they would give us the water.
So I guess my only question is, considering the conditions of the water, we would still have to do environmental assessments to ensure that there's no contamination or.
The only reason that they're
it's just for legal.
Is it the flow?
Is it?
What is it?
Well,
What is it?
there's no
It's
back.
Just
There's
standardized state.
Stop there.
Right. There's
But
no
really
bacteria in the
it's-
water. What happens is that
We could
the-
still consume it. It's just
could.
under regulations.
They have to keep
Even
it
if
from.
there's a slight medical concern, then no.
Not even. It's just that if you don't circulate it, then it's going to go bad.
Mm.
So they have to discharge it, and that way it puts fresh
So
water.
it's still fresh water.
Right. So it's just really fresh water.
Open.
Oh yeah, have you ever seen the water hydrants that are open, the fire hydrants? It's because that's all they're doing. It's just they're just flushing the lines, and you have to
Make sure
flush
the new
and
water
flush and
is
flush.
coming up.
And there are probably 275 flush points in the city. I mean, that's a lot of water that's just being thrown out there,
It's going back to the creek or to
Yeah.
the-
or to stormwater. or
And
out
they
in the
can't
street.
use any of that water to somehow supplement to take back to parks area, or
How to get it
it's
back.
just
Yeah.
well, that reciprocity of it, it's gonna cost.
That's part of it, and then it's strategic. In other words, the park, where the park is, for example, North Central is a good example of it. There's so much consumption of water in there, they don't need to flush the lines there. There are all these
Not on the
houses,
north
all these
side.
restaurants, all these buildings. So the places where you need it are like downtown. There's not a lot of population down there, but you have water that's there that's stagnant. At the colonias, because it's taken so long to get there, and then there's nobody to consume it.
You don't have that.
It's always the
problem in the
endpoints. Yeah.
south. It's about consumption.
Believe it or not, the industrial areas. Why the industrial areas? Everybody, I mean, part of the master plan, because I worked on the master plan with the engineering firm that did the study. If you look at the warehousing districts, there's tons of movement, right? You see lots of people, these big warehouses. Most warehouses have 4 bathrooms and a water fountain, and we forced them all to put in zero-scape irrigation, so there's no consumption of water. So there's all this water because of fire protection. We forced them all to put in 8-inch or 12-inch lines in those developments, and the water just sits. And so you have to flush it. So now we're telling the industrial parks, you want to put landscaping? Go.
Right here.
Have at it.
We
So
need more trees, and that's
So
something
we need
that-
more trees.
Yeah, we need more trees, and we need actually more environmental support as engineering, planning, and building to make sure that all the commercial development, they do plant trees.
Yeah.
They have to, because they're
Yeah.
cutting trees, but we're not planting trees in all that area, more
Well,
on the
and-
district
We wanna
side.
keep this
Yeah.
weather. Don't plant trees.
We need more trees all over the city, just
I agree.
some of that.
So the Tree City USA presents a really great opportunity for the city to cure some issues that it has, but it also gives us a designation that has grant money attached to it and puts us on the map again. Because we had applied for it in 2006 and we didn't get it. We came close, but that only counts in horseshoes and hand grenades. So
So you need a motion for
to champion the project,
SKLB.
SKOB.
Um,
Motion first.
I'll
Motion
second.
and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Okay, it's our project. So that's our big project for the year. Try to see if we can't get the Tree City USA designation. Plus the guys at Texas A&M, because I went to the tree inventory session at KTB, and those guys were all about this. This is all they wanted. You guys want to be Tree City USA? We'll go. We'll go down there to help you. Because there's an app that you can inventory all the trees with, and
Yeah, that'd be great.
I think we were using it, weren't we, for the inventory for the trees? We already worked, I believe, for North Central Park.
but I think that one was Adrian Goss doing GIS work on it. I don't think he was actually GPSing the tree and then telling you what type of a tree it was, taking the picture for the inventory. Because
It
the
was
app does
back-
all that. Did he do all that?
We did
Oh, you
that,
did do that?
yeah, that's what I'm
And who has the
I think we
data?
did.
Survey 1, 2, 3.
Adrian.
It's on.
It's
Adrian
it,
Adrian Goss.
on Adrian Goss's?
But yeah, I
cool.
think
I'm going to see him tomorrow, so I'm going to beat him up about that because
Yeah,
I haven't seen it.
information.
He's never shared it with me. I knew he did it
Yeah.
way back when, and he started in 2009 when we planted the first trees. He was one of the ones that was out there tagging the trees with us.
Yeah.
And we
During the
did
first
it on
tree
the two
planting.
projects, Mr. Ulmaris, so they actually had training on that, and they actually had volunteers, 5 extra volunteers.
And so
Some of
is
them
it
were
just
related.
on the ARC, on the city's open ARC
Yeah.
GIS, or is it on the Keep Texas Beautiful app for the
No.
Foresters app?
No, it's just in the GA.
Okay.
Yeah, it's called
It's
Survey
from-
1,
from
2,
them.
3.
From utility, the
Yeah.
one that he.
I
I
have
wonder
some
if
of the
we could. I
procedures
wonder
there.
if we could import that data
Oh,
into that app so that Texas A&M has it, and
yeah.
they keep a record of it.
Yeah, that would be nice.
Yeah,
Cool.
because everything was downloaded to Federico and all those, everybody had it on their phone, right? It was their phone, taking pictures and then doing the pinning.
But it was
and
done
the
through,
information on the tree.
again, it
and
was done through the
location.
city's GIS, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay.
The only thing is we didn't get to go around the whole park, but we did get, like, I would say about half of it. Yeah.
And that's because they were doing inventory from the last tree planting. Because they did all the new one and they were trying to cover the other part.
Because it's called tree count. That's the one that Texas A&M has.
Oh, yeah, no.
But it ties into the same Esri system.
Yeah.
It uses the same thing. So I'm sure we could
import the data.
yeah, import the data. Awesome. Okay. All right, the next item was create a KOB youth council, and we had kind of had some discussions the last time about it, and we wanted to finalize or formalize the decision to use KOB as the sponsor group rather than the city's leadership group as a sponsor group.
So I know I was part of that committee and a couple of people here. The last that we left was Ashley was going to send us a final draft of the application that had been reviewed, and I think she was going to consult with the assistant and the associate director and director for environmental. And I said, as soon as you get it cleared, send it over. We'll recreate and start the marketing. But then that's about the time
Then
that
she
she
leaves.
left and so on. And so we were on standstill. So we can take ownership again and just run with the application we think works best, marketing that we think works best, and then execute that way. In the meantime, while a director gets hired and staffed.
Okay.
Cindy, you were part of the committee as well.
So
A
we're
lot of
good.
people
So
were
then,
on told them to.
so then we're good with
Just admiring your nails.
No, thank you.
so then we're good with establishing it under KOB.
Yes.
And
Well,
formalizing
yes.
that. We just need the application. We need a.
Unless there was something else provided to environmental services
Did
that
we-
was recommended for us to take the lead on.
Did
Or
we,
They work on the
replicate.
application, and also I think that can be done this week. Cause we're not gonna reinvent the wheel, we have applications for other groups, we
Okay.
can
And then we
kind
need
of
to-
just modify it for ours.
then modify our bylaws so that they can fit for the youth council as well.
Yeah, and those, I know Federico have that's accessible, just the application part, and then you can modify
The
what I
bylaw.
wanna give you is just the application, and then
Yeah,
you can
just
focus on
whatever
the
you all
rest.
want,
Yeah.
and then we'll.
Yeah.
We
do-
want to
Because we have a new council
digitalize
for
the
city,
application though.
So it's
Yeah.
a general application, so maybe we can just do that through KLB with their logo, and then you can include the bylaws, and then you can work and modify it as
Mhm.
you,
Okay.
Okay.
visualize where actually you wanna
I
clarify
remember if I
how
was in the
important
committee,
KLB
but
is.
I hope I was not in the committee, because now I'm gonna be very committed to the,
No, I think we had you in that one, and the Esperanza word.
yeah.
Okay.
'cause
Sí.
I'm just gonna
Who's
be-
Like
part of
you were
that?
there if we
So
needed you,
who's
but
part of this one?
Cynthia and I, and I think that's it from this group that's present right now.
Cynthia?
But see,
Cynthia.
Yeah,
So to
because
get-
right now, my main is gonna be the Esperanza word right now.
Yeah,
in our
but-
case, I just needed the green light on the application that y'all want for us to
Yes.
use. Then we were
And like I
gonna
said, we
digitalize
will
it and.
reinvent the wheel. We have the
create the
council
marketing.
for
So we just need to
other
bring it back and-
Mhm. It was
Okay.
because se lo mandé a
Just
Ashley
with
and she never
logo.
responded. So
Got it.
no, then I
Okay.
found out why.
Attach the bylaws so they can go over and see specifically what they wanna have for the youth council.
Okay, so then at the next meeting, we hope to adopt the bylaws and the application and get started on the youth
You can
committee.
send the email to them too, Fede, with the bylaws and the application.
Okay.
So that probably is a real good reason why to have superintendents and those folks at the Esperanza.
Because that could be our kickoff to
That could be a
say,
kickoff.
and FYI, we're starting the youth council.
Yeah, because they're the first ones, we have to invite them so they can see what we have
Mhm.
to offer, and then from there,
You bet.
they're the first hands.
Maybe
Okay.
we can have
So then we're just
can you
pending,
buy the small standing clear plastic where you can put things in to promote stuff? Maybe we can have a QR code.
Yeah.
Or you don't need to, you can put it on the table.
But for what?
To start promoting the youth council, because last year, remember that many of the winners took their kids. We had an abundance. I think we had about 12 kids there from all gamuts, from middle school, I mean young ones, but from middle school to high school, that we could technically start recruiting them since their parents already won this Esperanza Award. Maybe those are the ones that we want to reel
There
in.
you have it.
There you go.
Good idea.
Let me know about the QR code. If, we have a code generator license, so if you just need to get a QR code, just let us know. I'll have somebody in my staff get you one.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay. The next item is staff reports, non-action items, and it's really just a date and time for the next meeting, which is September, and we have Labor Day somewhere in between, and so what about Labor Day is going to fall on the 4th, and so Tuesday, Wednesday, the 6th. September the 6th. And if the Esperanza Awards are on the 2nd of October, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then that will give us
Los Zules de la Mar.
about a month, yeah. Just a little short of a month. Okay?
It's good enough.
Is that good?
Yes.
All right.
Same time,
Okay.
right?
Same bat time, same bat channel. Items for the next meeting? Anything that we need to bring to the next meeting besides the treasurer's report, the Esperanza, the finalization of the
By
defensive
then, we're
plans,
gonna have everything ready for the staff.
the urban cleanup, and
By then,
the
we'll have
New council bylaws and
the council bylaws and
Application.
application.
Just
Right.
in a meeting, those meetings.
do you want to have it maybe an executive director update? No,
Oh,
by
and an
then.
executive director update if we don't have an executive director.
Yeah.
Okay, and you say Esperanza Award, the treasurer report, the executive director progress report, and the KOB.
The council, which is, well, basically it's the
The
adoption
application.
of the
application and
bylaws
bylaws.
and the bylaws, application and bylaws. And then a finalization of the Esperanza Awards, which is who's our speaker.
By then, it's probably we're gonna have everything, so yes.
Okay. Very cool, that's it. So,
I did want to add something.
Yes, sir.
Just as consideration. So one thing that I did notice in the KOB conference is there was a big focus on recycling, and I know Ruby also tried to stress that. So Recycle Day comes up in, I think it's November 11th or around there. And so I think it would be good so I know we used to partner with Solid Waste Services, but I don't think they demonstrated interest in, or I don't think they feel that they're at capacity to continue doing an eco fair that we used to do, or Recycle Day fair, where we would have students tour the landfill. But in any case, I think it would be great for KOB to reinforce its application for these KTB awards by having a focus on recycling, and maybe we can do something, even if it's small, for Recycles Day, but maybe we can put it, have a discussion about that for next meeting where
Okay.
we can.
When is the official day? Recycling, or we.
It's
wait,
November
or
or
is it
something.
November
So
day?
Recycles Day is like November 11th or so, but.
Doesn't give us enough time.
Yeah, and we don't have to do it on Recycles Day, but it is,
In that-
an opportunity.
yeah, if we can do it kind of within that window of
Yeah.
November 11th. Yeah, bring it, let's add that item to the agenda so we can discuss it and see what we can do, what
You
ideas we
got the
come up
items
with.
right, Federico? Which
So-
is the Esperanza Award, the treasurer report, the executive director, status, the creative KOB, adopt.
Does anybody know off the top of their head whether the schools do any type of recycling? Like if they have a recycling program, an award, or a contest, or, because that may be what we could talk about the youth council. Your first project is to create at the high school level, create a competition for recycling.
Yeah, that'd be cool. So, I don't, Sylvia sometimes goes to some events. She's the recycling program coordinator for solid waste, and I can, she would be somebody good to, inquire about these questions.
Bring her to the meeting.
Yeah, it doesn't
Let's-
matter to the next
Yeah,
meeting.
bring her to the next meeting. Also, we probably ought to bring the National Guard in. Have somebody come in for the National Guard to sit in on the meeting. Maybe, I know we don't have any board spots designated for something like that, but at the airport, I know we used to have what's called an ex officio, which is somebody who participates in the meetings but doesn't have a vote per se. But they are active in the board discussions, but they just don't have a vote. Maybe that's a position we could give to one of the guardsmen, or a couple of the guardsmen, so they can sit in on the
Or
meetings.
just like the spotlight, it doesn't have to be the same person as long as there's
Right.
representation.
That's correct. And they could assign, and the commander can assign whoever they want to be the ex officio or their proxy for that meeting. And that way they have a seat at the table, especially since we're going to want to involve them in a lot of the projects that we have this year coming. And if that needs to be added to the bylaws, then just ask what we need to do to get that. Okay. Anything else for the next meeting? Motion to adjourn?
Motion.
Second? I have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Let's get out of here.